Hello everybody, Puffle Kirby Toy 1 back with a Rapier guide. The Rapier is a very strange weapon because it's kind of mediocre at some stuff, it's kind of good at some other stuff, and not so great at other stuff. It's like, not the stuff you would think. That's a very bad description, but you'll see as we go on. Okay, skills for the weapon. 2, 3, and 5 are the most important ones, which are the ones I have on here. This weapon, actually. Hasty attacks, of course. Finishing blow plus, because the finishing blow for this weapon is essentially its special attack, but with even more range. So, that's a really good thing about it. And also, it's really good at breaking weak point gauges, not giant boss weak point gauges, but normal sized enemy weak point gauges, it can shred through, so yeah, it's also really good. Versus whatever you want, usually Dragon's the best, or Undead if you want to do that. And then, no healing. I would say specifically no healing for this, because there is a neat trick you can do with a shield. It's not that helpful, but it's a thing you can do regardless. So, let's get into it. Now, this weapon is a light weapon, which means it does more damage to enemies when you're attacking a bunch of enemies at once, which is kind of a problem because, honestly, this weapon is pretty bad at dealing with crowds. Yeah. Okay, let's just show the weak string. Okay, there. So, an interesting thing to note about... Actually, no, wait. I'll say that later. Never mind. Okay. Well, it's weak string. What do you expect? Okay. Combo 2. Wait, I messed up. Okay. Meh. Cut it out. Okay, combo 2. Or not, okay. There we go, finally, okay. I messed that up a lot. Okay, that's basically what you want to use against weak point gauges, because it just shreds through them. Basically, just the entire thing will knock out an entire weak point gauge. It doesn't really matter what you're battling. It's gone immediately, just with that one attack. So that's why that's a really good attack, but only for one-on-one. I mean, like, it doesn't really have that much range. So, it's not really going to take up that many enemies. Combo 3. Not that much use. The only thing I would say is for giant bosses, but even then I wouldn't use that version. I'll get to that later. Combo 4. It's okay, but I feel like combo 5 is essentially just kind of better. So that's why I say strength 5 over strength 4. Okay, wait. Combo 5. So yeah, it's basically the same thing, except a little less range, but it's just completely forward and a lot faster. And I feel like more damage as well. I'm not completely sure. Basically, that's going to be your best move for getting hordes of enemies away. So now, the other thing I was going to talk about are other moves. Is that there is, under my special attack gauge, there are 3 circles for light spheres. And when you have a light sphere, you can do powered up attacks, but the thing is, honestly, the powered up attacks feel kind of worse, in my opinion. They definitely do more damage, but they're not that great. So there's 2 ways to get the light spheres. Either after finishing the light combo, if you press Y an extra time, or whatever button it is on the Zelda controls, because I use the warrior control style, you will get 1 gauge of light, and if you press just the strong attack button alone, then you'll just automatically fill up the gauge no matter what. Thing is, you cannot dodge cancel out of this, which is a problem, so make sure to be safe when you do want to use it. Okay, so now that we have it powered up, then we have different attacks now. So, combo 2. So the whole thing does take 2 light spheres. that can do decent damage against one enemy, but I feel like just the normal combo 2 and just kind of juggling them over and over again is kind of better because it's safer, but of course it does less damage, so if you're kind of pressed on time, you can do that. The powered up combo 2. Let me refill because you do need 2. Okay, combo 3. This is really excellent against giant bosses. The thing is, no matter what you do, you cannot take out a giant boss weak point gauge in one downing of it. You're going to have to take it down twice or use a special attack. But either way, the powered up combo 3 takes it down the best. By far, I've tested other things, I've looked online, that's the best way, but it's also really the only way to kind of take down giant boss weak point gauges. Okay, combo 4 and 5 only require 1 orb of light, so I'll just do this. And you can also aim it. Okay, so yeah, you just shoot a bunch of light arrows, but I mean, they don't really do much damage. And the hitboxes on it are kind of wonky, so it's kind of hard to hit enemies. You can angle it, so you can just kind of rush forward, and then when you get to the end, you can press back and then shoot behind you if you want to do something like that, if there's like an enemy sneaking up behind you. So that's pretty cool, but I mean, doesn't do a lot of damage. Okay, and then let me just refill. And then combo 5. The thing about this is it does decent damage. It does cover a decent area. What the problem is that before the attack starts, you actually push enemies away from you. So it's kind of hard to hit enemies when you're pushing them away from you when you're using the attack, which is a very big problem. I don't know why. I think they might have fixed that in Legends, but I'm not sure. Probably not, actually. But that's a pretty big problem, and I don't know why they didn't oversee that. If you have an enemy against a wall, then yes, it's really good, but it's just, you have to actually get an enemy near it first, which is always kind of a problem. And yeah, that only uses 1 light gauge. Okay, now another neat trick before I get to anything else is that this weapon is actually kind of a special weapon. Also, oh, I didn't see you dead there. Okay. This weapon is special because it has a counterattack. And the Hylian Sword and Master Sword also have a counterattack. I forgot to mention it in that guide, but that guide was more of a beginner's guide because there's a lot of other tricks with the Hylian Master Sword that I didn't mention. So I might add that later, but this is not a beginner's guide, so yeah. Okay, so how you do the counterattack is this is why I said don't usually use defenseless, because you need to have your shield up. And when you get hit with an attack, you just press X. The problem is this counter is really, really, really underwhelming. I failed at that. You do not need a light gauge for it, and I keep messing this up terribly. Okay. How about you hit me? Or not. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit something. It does almost no damage, and against weak points, it only does one section of it. So it's not really anything you would need. I would not say it's that beneficial. So, yeah. It's just a neat little trick if I can actually, like, hit something with it. Yeah, like that. And you are invincible during it a bit, so it's kind of good as a get-off-me option, but that's all it's good for. So, if you do use the counter, okay, like that, again, if you use the counter and you have an orb of light, then it does use up one of the orbs, but you can use it without having any light orbs, and it doesn't get powered up as far as I can tell, even with the light orbs, so I wouldn't say if you do plan on using that, then you would want a light orb, because it just wastes them and does absolutely nothing extra. So that's kind of a shame. Let me just waste this really quickly. Okay. Okay, so now on to actual, like, combos and stuff. Let me just wait for him to do that. And I messed that up. Okay, why do I keep messing up combo 2? It's just YX. How do I mess that up? How do I mess up pressing 2 buttons today? Oh. Okay, come on. Wizero, stop doing that. Okay. So yeah, okay, yeah, that killed him instantly because he's weak to light, so yeah. It basically just completely demolishes weak point gauges, and yeah, that's basically what you want to do. You kind of just want to, if they don't block it, don't block it. And then you can kind of like lead up with something else like this. I don't know. So it's a pretty neat thing to do. You probably want to do it a lot. And special attack, it's literally the finishing blow, except you only shoot 1 arrow instead of 3. And the finishing blow, when you shoot 3, it goes 1 in front of you, and then 1 to the left of you, and 1 to the right of you. So that does cover more area, and it's just kind of more effective for cloud clearing, and you can just crowd clearing, not cloud clearing. Ugh. But yeah, you can just do combo 2 and just do that, and now I'm doing it. Okay. For some reason. And yeah, that pretty much just takes care of weak point gauges immediately. You don't really need to do anything else. Yeah, and then for crowds, you pretty much just want to do combo 5 uncharged. From what I can tell, you can try to do charge if they don't get pushed away. Combo 4 is also kind of nice, but again, they kind of get pushed away. Well, okay, no, they don't get pushed away. It's just the hitboxes on it are really weird, and it's kind of hard to hit enemies with it. So that's kind of where the Rapier fell flat, and so did the ally base. So now onto giant boss